Hi guys, today is May 18th, 2020. Futures are exploding higher after Moderna, which is a biotech developing COVID-19 vaccine, reported positive phase 1 results. And people are very optimistic about that. And actually, futures were trading higher even before they reported those results because Fed chief Jerome Powell over the weekend came out on CBS 60 Minutes and said that the Fed is far from running out of ammunition on helping American economy. So futures are higher and people are optimistic. And let's jump to SPY, which is the ETF for S&P 500, and I draw this little triangle, and I promise you I draw this before I saw the futures pre-market. I actually draw it over the weekend, and this is the ascending triangle. That's what it looks like to me. As you see, this is a very bullish technical pattern. I mean, a lot of people are thinking that, and I was one of them actually, that S&P is trading very high. It's supposed to come down. I mean, S&P is trading very high. I mean, it's trading at PE of 23, I think. And a lot of hedge fund managers and analysts were coming out and saying this is way too high. But the thing is that there is too much liquidity out there. I mean, Fed just pumped, if you consider like all the lending programs and actually QEs and taking down the interest rates to zero. I mean, they pumped like altogether like $6 trillion in the economy, plus help from the government, and they're considering another $3 trillion package. So a lot of money out there actually. I'm actually worried a little bit about the inflation, but the ascending triangle pattern. I'm usually not a big chart guy because I think the charts are a lot of times. Self-fulfilling prophecies, but they do help like to establish an entry in a position actually. But in general, it looks like people are very optimistic and looking out for economy reopen, and this announcement for Moderna is a big boost to the markets, especially for the companies and industries that are struggling right now, like airlines, like industrials and others. So. This is a big boost today, and let's see what happens. But let's go to corporate news. And actually, I want to talk about the builders, and builders specifically, such as DHI, for example, DR Horton. I mean, everything is up pre-market this morning, but I think builders will benefit from this extra liquidity on the markets right now because. I mean, I'm not talking about the asset bubbles in general on markets right now, even though this may be happening and it's Fed-induced and government-induced, but usually money flows into the real estate from the market, after the people done with the market. So builders are in a pretty good place because the rates are very low. I mean, people are talking about the negative rates, but I don't think that's going to happen. But futures are actually on rates are pointing to a negative rates environment. A negative rates environment means that it's not feasible for the banks to keep the extra cash, and they have to loan it somehow. And so there is a lot of cash out there. There is zero rates interest, and actually DR Horton reported last time. They reported that they saw uptick in the weekly sales. So I'm very optimistic about builders, and I think they're trading pretty low after the recent crash on the markets, and that could be a good pickup in my opinion. DHI, for example, is a pretty good company on pullback to buy. Okay, another company that I like is PHM. PulteGroup, also trading pretty low in my opinion. It could be picked up as well. I mean, everything is up pre-market, but they're still low in my opinion. So Toll Brothers as well. Toll Brothers came down like significantly and trading in around $25. It's a really good company to be in. BZH as well. BZH. Okay, Beazer Homes. I actually like their last report, and pretty solid report. A very nice balance sheet, a good setup, a technical setup for them, and I think that company could go a little bit higher. Okay, so another company that I like is PBFX. Okay, PBF Logistics. So this company is actually a tanker on land, a transport and delivery company and storage. And basically, it's not a tanker, but they're doing everything on land. They're transporting oil, they're storing oil on land. And they reported very good numbers, actually. EPS of 59 cents versus 50 cents previously, not today, but previously. Revenue also beat, but the only thing is that they reduced the dividend from 52 cents to 30 cents due to uncertainties. But as I calculated, that even with the 30 cents dividend, that's still like almost 14% yield. So that's an interesting company to be in right now, if not for a run in the stock, but at least for the yield. PBFX. Okay, so MU. Actually, I noticed the same thing as this S&P 500. I noticed this ascending triangle for MU. Actually, so that's a pretty good setup for MU, and I mean, all the tech companies got a hit on Friday. Friday or Thursday, I don't remember, when the government, our government said that they're cutting off the suppliers for Huawei. It's a Chinese tech company, and the chip makers, a lot of chip makers got hit, and MU was one of them actually. But I see this ascending triangle, so pretty good setup, technical, and I think MU can benefit from this current environment in general. Okay. Okay, another company that I like is Altria Group. Okay, so Altria Group is the world's largest tobacco company. It's a parent company of Philip Morris, and they actually have 10% stake in Anheuser-Busch. They have 45% stake in Kronos cigarette, and they said also Kronos company. But they also said that the cigarette shipments was up 6% this year. They pay pretty good dividend, like over 6% dividend, so over 9% dividend, I'm sorry, actually. So I think it's a pretty decent company to get in. I mean, I know that a lot of people are against smoking and stuff like that, but I'm just talking financial here, and I think it's a good fundamental setup for MO, and actually technical setup as well. So MO, in my opinion, is a pretty good place to get in right now. Okay, STZ. Constellation Brands. Okay, Constellation Brands had actually had fallen a little bit recently from like 165 area to like 158 where it's trading right now, but the pre-market is opening higher, as everything is opening higher. But in general, STZ is a really good company to be in right now. I mean, they were fallen because Mexican plants were closing, and a lot of people like MKM Partners a couple of weeks ago downgraded the stock to sell, and because there were concerns about running out of some of the beer brands, like some of the Corona and other beers, because Mexico plants were closed. But I think on this sell-off, it's a good opportunity to get in. Again, I see this ascending triangle pattern here on STZ, and I think it's a pretty good buy in my opinion. Okay, so Baba. Baba is another company that I like, and they're actually higher pre-market again. And unfortunately, because I wanted to pick up this company, and they will be reporting at the end of this week on Friday, I think. And actually, they're planning to do a stock split, 1-to-8 stock split on July 15th. So when the company announces stock split, that's usually good news because a lot more people can buy the stock at a lot cheaper prices. And usually after the stock split, the price of the stock goes higher. So Baba is a pretty good pickup in my opinion. I mean, it's trading pretty high. Maybe after the open it can come down a little bit, and I can buy it. Okay, Baba. NAT. Okay, NAT, Nordic American Tankers. It's a beaten down stock. Actually, I had a video on that oil tankers over the weekend, and check it out. And I have actually a couple of videos on oil and oil tankers on my channel. So that could be an interesting watch. But they reported pretty good numbers, and reported a beat by 4 cents, beat on revenue, and also said that in the second quarter, 75% of the trading days of their fleet have been booked at 50,000 a day per ship. So they spent about 8,000 for on maintenance. So that's pretty good news, and they said that they were encouraged by Asian economies reopen, and stock is trading a little bit higher, but closer to $5. It's a decent buy for at least for a dividend. And I also like Euronav, EURN. I also like FRO, Frontline Ltd, Frontline, FRO, and DHT. So these companies, these four companies that I like in the tanker space, and I think they pay a pretty good dividend. And with the economies starting to open up, the delivery side of the business, transport and delivery side of the business, can pick up for these companies. Okay, so I also wanted to talk about the biotechs, specifically those that develop vaccines for COVID-19. VIR Biotechnology. They said that they had identified antibodies to be used with potential treatment. They're working with GlaxoSmithKline, stock symbol JSK, working on two clinical development candidates to be used with this antibody. And I told you that VIR is a pretty good buy at around $30, and it's trading a lot higher than that this morning, and around $34. Maybe it can come down so you can buy it, but JSK is also a pretty good buy in my opinion, closer to $40. Another company that I wanted to talk to you about is Williams-Sonoma. Williams-Sonoma is the company that sells kitchenwares and home furnishing, and has 625 brick and mortar stores. And one of the largest online retailers continues to reopen stores, upgraded by the Wedbush this morning to outperform. Price target change from $46 to $80. I think it's a pretty good setup for Williams-Sonoma, and actually an interesting company to buy at this environment. Okay, so another one is Sea Limited. Okay, Sea Limited is the internet company that operates through like three segments: digital entertainment, e-commerce, digital financial services, and reported a loss of 52 cents, which was more than expected, but revenue beat. A very interesting company to get in right now. I mean, I wouldn't be getting in right at the open because it's trading very high, but it's a good company to watch. Stock symbol SE. All right, that's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and I'll see you Thursday.